training program,
Mhm.
it's pretty much regulated by the universities and by the state.
It is. It
So
varies
you
on.
have a standards and practices board at the state level, and they send their regulators and their people, and you have to do certain things, and the universities comply, and they help those students who are going through their programs and trained to meet those. And there is also an agreement usually with a mentoring teacher. But do we need, if we went for a national, the difference between having your state license and a national license
Yeah.
is that, and I remember this from when I was asked to get my national license by my district, and there were binders full of things that needed to be done. But you not only have to go to meetings and you have to submit curriculum, and you have to have, of course, agreements with the parents and with your students, because you have to videotape yourself. And so you go through peer reviews, you go through all kinds of different assessments in order to achieve this.
Yes.
And there are different assignments. So
While
it's
you're a teacher.
it's pretty intense. You're going to get people who are highly motivated to go through this process. It's not going to be every single teacher. And if you demand that every single teacher go through this process, then you're going to have to, one, you're going to have to up the pay a bit.
I was gonna say, yeah, yeah.
Secondly, you're going to find yourself lacking a lot of teachers. You're going to have to do something because not every teacher is going to have the ability and the wherewithal to do what they have to do, possibly for the state with the state standards, and do this as well, because it's going to cost them more money. And it's also going to be it's going to cost them more time. So, how are you going to infuse that with the universities and with the states? Maybe I'm conflating the two, and maybe I'm getting all that mixed up.
I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, if you're going to ask more from the training and ask more for the qualifications, you have to reward them. You can't just
Mhm.
impose that.
Right, and
Uh,
you're already gonna presuppose that those teachers have an advanced degree in that material, and maybe that gets rid of, say, the Master of Arts in Teaching English or something, where they actually have to have a master's degree in that field, and then they go for their national board.
I see. Yeah. I was just thinking too, it's interesting because if you want to teach, at least it's probably not blanket anymore, but it used to be in junior college. You want to teach, say, history.
Mhm.
You had to have at least a master's in the subject of history.
Right.
Whereby to teach history at the secondary level, I had to have a master's in teaching with
Mhm.
secondary social studies endorsement or
Right.
social studies endorsement now. So it leads me to think why was I getting the master's in teaching and somebody who's teaching at the college level just has the master's in the subject area? It seems to be a little bit cart before horse, but a teacher is a teacher as far as I'm concerned. I know content area people, but they don't teach it very well. So the qualifications for, say, a junior college professor or teacher, actually wouldn't be professor, seem to me to be sort of focused on the subject more than teaching. But what am I
Mhm.
to? Yeah,
Right, and
again,
so
qualification.
you do have to have an advanced degree in order to teach at the university, unless you're teaching like a night course that's maybe for 1 credit. Maybe it's 3 credits, but then it has to be approved by the university in order to do it,
Yeah,
and it have to
adjunct
be on a,
faculty.
yeah, adjunct.
Yeah, especially in community college, there's things you can teach for community college credit. Doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily take a doctorate in the subjects, but yeah, I
So
bet it makes a good one. It's interesting. So yeah, we got that standard that boy, it's going to play havoc on a bunch of the standards, and then of course the ripple effect through the curriculum of just teaching teachers because of a national board standards.
well, I think if they were smart, then what they would do is they would allow the attrition rate to pick up, and they would just start with bringing in nationally
Yeah.
certified teachers and not force everybody into it, because then
Ooh,
they would create that would be that would be so
hmm.
bogged down.
I was just thinking about that system too. It would create such pay problems.
It would be a huge cluster.